Gurpreet Singh. Actually, I reached to my village where this network and everything is slight, but we will start.
No issue, sir. Your slide is at the screen.
Okay. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
We are live. You can start it.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. We start our sessions. So we are
Good morning.
discussing on, yes.
Good
So
morning, sir. Good morning.
good morning, dear learners. You are a lot of enthusiasm, and this is a class I enjoy because it's my top area of my interest, as well as this class is more interactive than any other class. So for a proper network purpose, I just close the video so that we can have a uninterrupted interaction or session. Is it fine? Okay, all right. So we are going to discuss about today the block two, the last two units of block two. So just we recap on what we have learned last class, that is philosophical base of social sciences. Why we need the philosophical phase? Why it is important? Why we need to make the foundation of the philosophical thought on research, right? So we learned about the philosophical foundation, epistemology. When we need to study something, we need to study the study of knowledge, ontology, study of reality. We need to know, and we need to have little bit understanding on the how we are going to conduct the research. So these are the, when you say philosophical foundation, these three are the pillars of philosophical foundation. So epistemology, ontology, and methodology, right? So what I am going to have for the study of knowledge, study of reality, and way of conducting research. Okay. So these three areas are very important, and this objective is to evaluate multiple theoretical perspectives. That is the first objective. To understand philosophical debates that shape social sciences, right? We need to debate because social science is not just other pure sciences where the debate is less, but we need to debate a lot. And we need to analyze how natural sciences influenced social sciences in terms of research methods, and to explore epistemology means that knowledge and metaphysics what exists in reality, okay, to to research methodologies, right? So so we learned the positivist theory, interpretivism, critical theory, and which are the three theories we learned last classes. And epistemological and metaphysical issues we learned what is knowledge and how we are going to know something is true, okay, and how we are making something as a fact with relevant data, and what is reality, what is existing, okay, beyond the physical world, right? So these are the two broad metaphysical and epistemological thought and influence of natural sciences on sociology, right? How I am making even the social science research as a kind of or little more scientific, right? Rather than just a layman perspective. So positivism, like August Comte, Chukim speaks about, make an empirical type of research to make sociology a science with the objective laws. We discussed a lot about subjectivity and objectivity, and positivism speaks about make a sociology science with the objective laws. And a critic, when you talk about the critic social realities, when they criticize these positivism, they said social reality is too complex for rigid scientific laws. We cannot make any kind of rigid way to conduct the research. Okay, so I have to go this, I have to collect the data, I need to draw data and all those things. It's more rigid when, which is highly possible in so pure science research, but it is not that impact or it is essential to be maintained in social science research. This is a major criticism on the positivism, And we also learned about multiple theoretical perspectives like functionalism, conflict theory, postmodernism, and symbolic interactionism. So we learned all those theories which is very essential for us to conduct the social science research. And criticism of universal theories, every theory is being criticized, and because of the purpose of enhancing the way how we are going to conduct the research. Okay, so that's highly important. And plurality in social science. When you talk about pluralism, means using multiple research approaches instead of just one, right? So combining quantitative and qualitative approaches, right? Means that you are using the statistics as well as interviews observation. So pluralism also, it talks about complexity and allows researchers to study society in multiple ways, right? So these we have discussed, and impact of postmodernism is discussed, and we learn about the entire aspect of the theological foundation in social science research, right? And we learned all those criticism and heroic science and the origin of positivism, and August Comte, the development of theological stage, metaphysical stage, and a positivist stage. So when we say three, this is very important when we understand while we are trying to capture the society, how the society is. Okay, any society moves through these stages. One is a theological stage, that is explanation based on religious beliefs. The society or individual, you see, they think on and they develop their all the thought process in on a religious beliefs, right? If you go to a typical tribal community, their beliefs on religious thought process, their customs, their values. Okay, where they develop what is happening in and around them on based on their beliefs, based on their religious beliefs, right? And when you go to metaphysical stage, they go on a philosophical reasoning, right? They move little ahead of the theological stage, means they cause and effect. You do this and it will happen. Okay, you go through this pain because you have done this, right? The philosophical reasoning, right? The kind of, you do sin, uh, you will not enjoy the life, right? You do this and you do that. You smoke because you got cancer, right? It's an abstract philosophical reasoning. You do this cause and effect method. So positive stage, knowledge based on scientific observation and empirical data, right? You smoked because you got cancer. You put a scientific observation into it. Okay. So all those who smoke will get cancer. What is a scientific observation on it? Where is the empirical data? When you come with an empirical data, then you see it's a positive stage. You sin, you do commit sin, you do commit bad things on your neighbor, then you will not enjoy your life, or you will die soon. Means it is a philosophical reasoning. There is no abstract observation. Uh, uh, there is no empirical data because he died at 45 age because he had done some sin towards his neighbor. No, it is a metaphysical stage. There is a philosophical thing, right? So where you have a scientific observation, when you say empirical data, when you come with an empirical data, this is a positive stage. So any society or any individual or any nation as a whole will have gone through this stage or will stick on to any kind of stages, right? And we will shift ourselves to any stages in a day-to-day life. So sometimes some concepts I think I speak in the perspective of theological stage. In some concept I come with a positive stage, and I some concept I will be in a metaphysical stage, right? So it differ, right? So So yearly positivism, we have discussed on study social facts and things on external to individuals use statistical data, right? So even Tritium's contribution on, as I have said, analyze suicide rates and social integration, especially is writings on the deviant behavior, how the people will get deviant, right? And consolidation of positivism, right? So focus on measurable data. When you say positivism, we focus on measurable data, search for general laws in society, assumption of objective social reality, limitations. So these are the when you say speak about limitation, it's not highly possible to have to make us a natural science research, right? These are the limitations when we talk about it. So we have discussed on the criticism on the positivist theory, and we have reflexive sociology and methodological dualism. Okay, so this we discussed on how the various theories will lead us to a kind of the how we to develop the knowledge without bias, and how to eliminate the bias, how the why the researchers need to be very neutral in social science researchers, because when we eliminate bias, when we bring neutrality in our thought process and everything, then the fact and the output what we are going to bring out of our research is going to be useful to the society, right? So agency and structure and process of structurism. So we have discussed this, and postmodernist critic. There is no there is a main arguments like power and discourse shapes what is considered truth. Multiple perspectives are needed to understand society, right? So this we have learned up to here in the last classes, that today we are going to discuss about the hermeneutics, and what is hermeneutics and why it is important for the studies. So today we are going to discuss about this. Any idea about this word? It is slightly or not slightly, entirely differ from positivism. This. So today our class is going to start from here. Just we have seen the recap till now of what we have learned last class. What is this? Any idea? Okay. Hermeneutics is talks about to study, conduct research in more of observation, in more of qualitative in nature than as positivism. Okay, which is very important in a social science research, right? So how we are going to make the research highly possible ways to understand or to study the entire research in a more uh, positive way, right? That is what we are going to discuss today uh, in the class, right? So, what is this hermeneutics? When you talk about this, is the study of interpretation, particularly of text, tradition, and social context. So, what is the is a study of interpretation. So now you are going and want to study the culture of the tribal community, right? Or the culture of or the problems faced by children, those who are begging in the roadside at Delhi. Now you have to you are, imagine that you are using this hermeneutics. Okay, means that you are. It is the study of interpretation. Okay, it is a study of, uh, particularly of the, uh, studying what is the problems that they are facing. Okay, and you want to develop it. Okay, imagine that the example is we are going to study the problems faced by child labor, right? So child labor is prohibited in India, but there are, we see good, less amount of people are involving in child labor. Now you have taken that for the study. Now you are observing them, and you want to, make that study more a kind of reliable thing. Okay, you don't want to go for quantitative. Now you want to do qualitative. You want to interpret what the problems that they are facing. All right. So for that, you are observing them, and without any bias, your interpretation you have to make it. Okay, what are the problems they are facing? And when they go at home or to their owner, what are the negligence or what are the issues they are facing? Just you are interpreting the matter, right? And when you are, for example, when you are doing a research on the culture or text or the tradition of the particular group, then you are making it. Okay. Now we have a, we are residing in Coimbatore. There is called a Gond tribes, where one of my students did the research. When she went there, she studied how they are being deprived of education when they go to schools, so how they are looked into, what are the issues they are facing, since she interpreted, right? The same way, their text, their tradition, right? You are going and studying their cultural heritage, during their festival. So how you are going to interpret their tradition? These are very, very minute things that we are going to, uh, study using the hermeneutics, way of studying it. So it is very clear that it is a study of interpretation. It is a study of particularly text, tradition, and context, right? So it originated in a theology and a philosophy, but later influenced in social sciences, right? Theology, for example. Okay, hermeneutics is in theology. Why it is in theology? Can anyone say that? Why it is in theology? What is theology? What is the subject called theology? Any idea? Am I
Sir,
audible?
in the Christian context, it is the study. Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah,
Hello.
you're audible. Yeah, you're
Okay.
audible.
Sir, in the Christian context, the study of theology is the study of religion that is normally
Okay.
done by those who are studying to become priests.
Okay,
But it
very
can be
good, very
studied by
good.
the laity also.
Studied by?
The uh, common people like us also. You don't have to
Yeah.
be a priest to study theology, but normally it is studied by the priest when they are studying to become priests, basically.
Okay, very good, exactly. Right. It is a study of, uh, God or, their particular religion. When you say theology, you study not on a particular religion. Theology is something you study about the truth or uh, the things behind what is going in a overall religion, right? They study theology because they want to understand God, right? Because as Miss Sophia said, those who want to become a priest in Christianity, right? They particularly they should spend 1 year or 2 years in studying theology, because they must be in a position to respond to the, common people when they ask question, then post the question on God, right? That is the only reason. That's the main reason why they go for studying the theology, as well as to make them themselves understand the concept of God. Right. Apart from that, it is originated in theology. This concept of hermeneutics is originated in theology. Why? Why it is originated in theology? Why it is not originated somewhere? Why it is originated in theology? Any idea? All right. It is originated in theology because they need to interpret their text. Okay, written years and years back, right? You take any religion, they have their own text. They say it holy book or their own religious sacrament or something like that. When these holy books need to be interpreted, we need to interpret to the people, to the common people, even though they don't change the words in their holy book, whether it is Bhagavad Gita or Bible or Quran, they won't change, but they need to be interpreted what God tries to say. So here hermeneutics involved. So that it's originated in theology and philosophy, but later influenced to social sciences, because when they want to interpret something, they need to observe it. They need to read line by line. They need to connect what the previous chapter of that particular book says, right? And for that purpose, they need to go in deep of the text, what is written. So it was originated from theology and philosophy, but later influenced social sciences. So key focus on understanding human actions, right? Meanings and the historical context. So it is very, very important. So, okay, what is behavior? So what is psychology? I'm sorry, what is psychology? It's a study of psychology is a study of
Human psychology, sir. Why somebody behaves in a manner that they are behaving.
what, madam?
Sir, psychology is a study of human behavior to try to
Very good.
explain why somebody is behaving the way they are behaving, whether it is violence,
Very,
whether it is depression, whatever.
very good, very good.
Sir, study of
Psychology is this. Yeah,
sir, study of emotions.
study of emotions. Okay, very good. Any other? How the you know that when it was initial, psychology was establishing. It's a study of. Can anyone guess? Now is a study of emotions or study of behavior. Initially, how it is a study of. Any idea? Can anyone guess? Just guess
Attitude,
and
sir.
then.
Attitude.
Attitude? No, no.
Relation.
Study of?
Relations
No,
between one and
no,
another.
no, no, no,
Wow.
no. It's a one word. It's a one word.
It's one word.
Sir, maybe illness or disease. Is that how it started?
No, 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 no.
No. Okay.
It is a study of soul.
So,
Okay.
right, sir.
And it was initial. It's a study of soul because it's highly connected to our what we are discussing today. So that I'm saying, okay, because it is related to hermeneutics. Okay, dear learners, when you say study of soul, when you say study of behavior, what is the difference of this term? Soul, behavior. Now it is evolved. Imagine it was first initially it was the study of soul, and it becomes a study of mind, and now it has become study of behavior. It has evolved. this social science called the discipline of psychology has evolved from study of soul to study of behavior, in between study of mind. So could you think why it has evolved from study of soul to study of behavior? Guess it. Don't Google it, guess it. Why?
Sir, interaction of one soul with another.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, I mean, if the soul is unhappy for whatever reasons, the human behavior will deteriorate. The I mean, to be honest, it's the other way. I mean, the study of psychology moving from soul to behavior, it looks as if it is the other way around, but uh, I guess the basic reason is if the soul is unhappy for whatever reasons, uh, the person's mind will get affected, the behavior will get affected in a negative way.
Okay. Okay. Any other reason? Let us imagine, not imagine, let us think. Do you all believe there is a soul? Any science, it should bring into the light that it is existing. Whether it is a social science or whether it is a pure science. Okay. Can you observe the soul? Is soul existing? These two questions, no one can prove it. Can anyone prove it that there is a soul? Let us not talk about on a theological perspective. Let us talk about the science perspective, not religious perspective. But it is highly disproved. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The same way, mind. We cannot observe mind for the sake of explaining what is mind. We can explain that it's a thought process. It is something which is we think all those things. Okay, from my point, if I want to explain what is mind, I will explain it like that. Okay, for you it may be, some of you may be different. So mind is something which we cannot bring it in a absolute form. Okay, so that it has evolved from soul to mind to behavior. Now I can observe how Madam Sophia is behaving. I can observe why the another learner how it is behaving in the class, how Dominicus is behaving. Am I right? So something which can be observable, right? If I observe how Mr. Gurpreet is behaving, okay, is getting anger, is getting uh, tensed, is okay, is behaving well, is responding me back, means I can observe or I can elaborate on his thought process. Gurpreet is just broken his pen out of anger. Probably he was upset with me. So I can go in depth of his thought process. So behavior is the exploration of the thought process of a person. Am I right? What thought process is going on in your mind, you behave it such a way, right? So behavior is observable. So I can only observe your behavior. I cannot observe your thought process. Okay. Any psychologist, it's a myth that a psychologist uh, can say what we are thinking. No, no one can say what you are thinking. Okay, right? It is not possible, right? Uh, we can only observe your behavior. Through that, we can assume what you might have thought. Even we can assume it, but it cannot be 100% true, right? So it's very, very important that the science of psychology has evolved from soul to behavior because behavior can be observable, behavior can be studied, right? So understanding human actions, meanings, and historical context, this hermeneutics is highly helpful, which is it's a qualitative in nature. So unlike positivism, which is its universal laws, hermeneutics emphasize context and subjectivity. Very, very important, right? Unlike positivism, which is its universal laws. So positivism, the theory of positivism, Emil Durkheim says, make sociology more scientific, bring laws, bring sciences into it. Okay, don't study just like that. Bring empirical data, but hermeneutics seeks more on, emphasize more on context and subjectivity. What as a researcher you are keen in observing it. As a researcher, what you have tracked the knowledge from it, particular actions that is happening in the society, or but particular tradition that is being followed in the society, right? More on subjectivity, right? And when the objective of this hermeneutics, right, to explore the impact of hermeneutics on qualitative research. It's highly possible we need to use these techniques in qualitative research, right? And to to understand the historical development of hermeneutics, right? And to analyze the relationship between phenomenology and hermeneutics, differentiate hermeneutics from other research methodologies, to examine how hermeneutics applies to social science research. That's what the main objectives of this unit, right? How we are going to use this method against positivism, or how we are going to bring impact in our research by using this hermeneutics method, right? So when you talk about the methodological disputes in social sciences, right? So social science debates whether research should focus on explanation or interpretation. When you want to explain, you have to go for positives. When you want to interpret, you want to go for hermeneutics, right? Because when you want to explain, you need data, right? You need some empirical data, that means in numbers, to explain, right? So you need to say that 60% of them has passed in my exam, okay, and 40% of them failed. You need some data into it, okay, and based on that you explain. But you want to interpret something. You want to bring a lot of uh, definition, lot of explanation, uh, kind of development in a particular area, right? So, like the text needs to be interpreted. Okay, some book, some literature need to be interpreted, right? Some books written by years and years before need to be interpreted. Some behaviors need to be interpreted. That means those behaviors, those literatures, those texts need to be observed a lot. Need to be put a lot of subjectivity into it. Okay, sometimes it may lead to error, but those need to be studied in a more of the qualitative in nature than the quantitative in nature, right? What is the use of uh, we have a famous uh, poet called Thiruvalluvar. What is the use of he has written 130 130 uh, couplets? Okay, rather how we are going to interpret it, his writings. Okay, how I am going to interpret what he is trying to say to the universe, right? I need to read a lot. I need to read his words. Okay, I need to interpret such a way that what he wants to say to the country, what he want to say to the individual person, right? So there it is needs a kind of a deep study, deep subjectivity, eliminating bias. Okay, being a stereotype that should be removed from the researcher. Then only a study of hermeneutics can be highly impactful, right? Where positivism seeks casual relationship using empirical methods, as I have said, it is using casual relationship. Okay, what is the relationship between the uh, people drinking, taking more alcohol content and poverty? What is the relationship between the kind of government programs and women empowerment? Okay, we seek the casual relationship, right? And hermeneutics focus on understanding meaning behind human actions. Focuses on understanding meanings behind the human actions. So, what is the meanings of this particular behavior, right? What is the use, what is the why is behaving, why it is happening, right? So instead of just measuring crime rates, hermeneutics asks why people commit crimes and how they understand their actions, right? That's very important. Why people commit crimes and how they understand their actions, right? So that's very important aspects we need to discuss on, right? So uh, more on when you hermeneutic research, it's on qualitative in nature. So history of hermeneutic, originally method of interpreting religious texts like Bible, Quran, expanded into philosophy and social sciences, right? Dilthey Gardner, other few things. I am not much aware of it, but the philosophical and social science. So the key shift from interpreting text to understanding human behavior and cultural traditions. Today, hermeneutics is widely used in qualitative social research. Right? So we have discussed it, and disputes in social sciences. What are the methodological disputes? So social science debate whether research should focus on explanation, that is positivism, or interpretation. So history of hermeneutics we have seen, and critical interpretation is a hermeneutics of suspicion. Okay, when you say that suspicion, the Paul Richard introduced hermeneutics of suspicion, which questions dominant ideologies, right? Which questions the dominant ideologies, which we need not, which is out of fear we will not question it. Okay, so here whether those are being questioned, right? So feminist critique, how gender roles maintained through language and tradition, right? And key focus, uncovering hidden meanings behind text and social institution. When you take the feminist critique, how gender roles are maintained through language and tradition. So that is your main objective of your study. You want to study how gender roles are maintained through language and tradition, right? In the various ways or the traditional practices, how it is hidden means we we behave such a way that it is quite normal, right? So key focus uncovering hidden meanings behind text and social institutions. Okay. So Marxist interpretation of capitalism hides exploitation under the idea of freedom. Okay. So here you go in depth and study the suspicious things which is need to be explored, which needs to be studied, which need to be observed. Okay, altogether, in order to bring better understanding on a particular topic, right? Uh, when you talk about the phenomenology of hermeneutics, so phenomenology studies human experience and consciousness. That is the when you where how this phenomenology and hermeneutics are connected. Okay, when you say that it studies human experience and consciousness, connections to hermeneutics, and phenomenology explores when we experience. Sorry, what we experience. Phenomenology explores what we experience. Hermeneutics explains how we interpret those experiences. So, so when you talk about the phenomena, when you talk about the phenomenology or phenomena, it tells about how we experience, what is the connection between our experience between two or three factors, and how we interpret those experiences is all about hermeneutics, right? So it is highly connected. And you take phenomenology and hermeneutics is highly connected. It's studying how patients with the chronic illness make sense of their condition. So studying how patients with the chronic illness make sense of their condition. So you study about the phenomenology concept explores what we experience, and hermeneutics concept how we interpret those experiences, right? So what are the implications for social science research? So hermeneutics is widely used in qualitative research, interviews, case studies, ethnography, okay, and focuses on understanding people's experiences rather than measuring variables. That's very, very important. It focuses on understanding people's experiences rather than measuring variables. So interviews are case studies and ethnographies or the methods used to conduct the hermeneutic study, right? So case studies, ethnography means studying their culture, tradition, right? And case studies, when you say case study, you are taking a particular case and studying in depth. Okay. So that is considered as a case study. Interviews you do with the interview, with the person's in-depth interviews on the problems, issues that you want to discuss. Okay. So for the major understanding that from this paper block 2 is we have a lot of discuss about the quantitative approach and qualitative approach. We discussed about the positivism, postmodernism, right, conflict theory, and everything. Especially positivism speak about the quantitative approach, empirical data, checking the variables for our study, right, and uh, we need also a kind of hermeneutics concepts where we need to study the qualitative perspectives of the human behavior or understanding the human or understanding the society in a better way that which through the subjectivity, which through observing, which through qualitative method, right? So these two branches are can be used based on the study what we want to explore knowledge. Okay. So it is not, as I have said, it is not your domain, but the study should guide you. The problem of your research should guide you what approach you need to take for collecting the data. Okay. So just a minute, I will show few of the uh, kind of research uh, problems which the Ministry of Home Affairs wants to study. okay, which they have called for, will guide you what type of method you need to take for. See here, this call for last year, I think, the Ministry of Home Affairs. You see here examples of the study title. I want you to see the study title, which will help you what type of things you need. See here, the study of impact of drug use practices among prisoners on the increase in HIV incidence. What 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 think what is suitable for us to take here? Study title is shared. Can anyone read the study title?
Sir,
Sir, a
Anyone
study of
read?
the impact of drugs. A study of the impact of drug use and practices among prisoners on the increase in HIV incidences in jails.
Okay. So it's a study. They want to study. The ministry want the scholars or the professors to study of the impact of drug use practices among prisoners on the increase in HIV incidents in jails. You see here, next topic. Can anyone read?
A study on the budget allocated for the reformation and rehabilitation prisoners and its actual utilization.
Okay, next one.
Critical evaluation of your anti-human trafficking units in the country.
Okay, next.
Victim support services, researching ways to enhance support services for victims of crime, including trauma-informed care and legal assistance.
Very good. Fifth one.
Impact assessment of interoperable
Whatever.
justice
Criminal
system,
justice system.
quality of justice, challenges and concerns.
Fifth one.
Use of justice practices, investigate the implementation of restorative justice practices within correctional settings, including victim offender mediation, restitution programs, and community reparations.
Okay.
Sir,
Is blockchain technology for secure data management, seventh one. And you say eighth one is impact study of journal homes in the light of journal justice preparation of government policies and programs. Study on mobile and chain snatching in the top 5 districts of the country. Identifying the parameters to be included in the investigation forms for socioeconomic profiling of the victims accused in identifying the hotspots. Mental profiling of the repeated offenders of child abuse, assessing the environmental vulnerability of these repeated offenders, and there are the 11 topics. Okay,
sir.
so you see, these topics will guide. Okay, I have shared this. It's because how the research topics they are taking. Government wants to study. Ministry wants us to study, right? So you can learn in terms of the ministry's website, Indian Council of Social Science Research website, where you can select a good topic which is suitable for you to study, which is suitable for your domain to analyze. Just doing the sake of doing some project. Take a small, but this is highly, you cannot go to jail and do a study. It is not possible for a normal researchers. You should get the permission from the ministries, from the government and everything. But moreover, what when you search like this, we'll get an idea where just I have shared 11 topics. Those 11 topics, where it is false, whether it is a positivist theory, whether I have to go for quantitative approach or I need to go for qualitative. Okay, so this will guide you. Okay, what type of method, what type of things I need to go for this studying this type of topics, right? So that angle we need to check, right? So these are the areas we need to more focus on that. Whether it is qualitative or quantitative, any kind of research, it is important for developing the proper methodology, right? A good methodology, which will support us, which will guide us to go with a proper way of doing the particular research, right? So these are the things I wanted to discuss for today. And any questions? Any questions you have?
No, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Mm.
Sir, study by BPRD, Bureau of Police, BPRD, Police Research and Publication Act, BPRD, regarding the use of drugs and HIV diseases.
Okay.
So this study is done by health department or any other department. So, how the study
Of Ministry of
Ministry
it is the call for from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Home
Actually, this
Affairs.
call for is over. I just shared you to
Okay.
understand how the country or the ministry is looking for a various research problems. So that I just shared with you to how whether I need to go for a quantitative research or qualitative research for those various topics.
Right, sir. Right, please.
That's very, very important because what method I'm going to deal with. So when you are writing a proposal for funding, I don't know how many
Sure.
of you are in teaching field, if at all, or in a practices field, if you are writing a research proposal for funding of 20 lakhs or 50 lakhs or crore rupees, they will look into your methodology. Okay, what methodology I am going to speak about, I am going to stress upon to get the result. Okay, so your objective, your methodology should go hand in hand to your methodology should support to arrive at your objectives, right? Should not mislead. So what I am going to take, whether it's a quantitative or qualitative, that's very, very important aspect we need to discuss. So the block 2 clearly guide us that what is research and how I have to develop the three kind of areas, that is knowledge, then the methodology, then the existing condition. Okay, so these three pillars brings the philosophical foundation well in our study, right? If it is well defined and well organized, then the rest of the things fall in line.
Sir, any
Okay,
role of
any other?
hypothesis?
What is your question, Gurpreet, Mr. Gurpreet?
Sir, any role regarding the knowledge, methodology, and objectives? Any role of hypothesis? Hypothesis.
Yeah, hypothesis, you do it. A hypothesis, what in another term, it's a doubt. That was I have said last class, or research your questions.
Hello, sir, my
Your
voice
research
is
questions
clear?
are also a hypothesis. Okay. In quantitative research, you develop hypothesis. In mostly you call it as a
It's okay, sir.
question.
It's okay, please. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. So you have to develop hypothesis when it is after you framed your objectives, right? What you want to test in your research, entire research, what you want to test, what you want to identify, right? It is part of your research methodology. All right. Any other question?
Sir, hello.
Yeah. Yes,
Sir,
Mr. Veer. Yeah.
methodology.
Yeah.
Small. Methodology should be adopted based on our project or based on as a researcher choice, sir.
Methodology should be based on your research, what you want to do. Okay. The research problem should guide you what you are taking.
Not the
Right?
interest of researcher, right?
No, it is the interest of the research. It should be justifiable. So you should defend your methodology. Right?
Yes,
See,
sir.
researcher take any methodology. Definitely, researcher will not take any methodology which is going against the research topic. Okay. If an external examiner, I'm asking questions, why you have taken this particular methodology for your research? As a researcher of your research, Mr. Veera should defend, okay, why you have taken that methodology. That's all. If your methodology is justifiable by you, if your methodology is able to please the external examiner, if your methodology brings your set objectives, if your methodology goes in line with your objective of your research, then it's fine. No issues. It's on the basis of the choice of the researcher only, but it should not violate the basic structure. That's all. As a researcher, you can take any methodology, but it should, how to say, it should lead to your research problem, and it should be justifiable.
Sir, methodology actually means the methods utilized in research study. Am I correct? So
Yes, you are correct.
Sir, for further to that, methodology can be qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative is going through the data, available data. Qualitative is like one-to-one interview or whatever it is. Is it, sir? So, sir.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay. So, my project format will contain about the methodology of the study or the type of study or the method I used in that research project. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. You are absolutely correct.
Sir, one kind request, since you started this, sharing this study, sir, can we have a little bit talk about the format of the research project, sir? We have probably all of us have done some kind of research with regard to our subject, sir. But now, in order to complete it, what is the actual format, correct format? Like there is introduction, there is methodology, there is a conclusion, and apart from that, what needs to be done?
Research, I think in your textbook it will guide you. I'll also help you in this regarding. Okay. One.
Sir.
You have the introduction.
Yes.
Then you have review of literature.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have methodology, research methodology.
Sir.
Then you have analysis and interpretation.
Sir.
Fourth one. And the fifth one is suggestion and conclusion. It will have 5 chapters.
Sir.
Apart from that, you have to keep it annexures. Okay, that is
Yes,
not a
yes,
chapter.
yes,
Annexures.
yes,
In annexures, you will keep your tools of data collection. If you are presented at any conferences, you can keep the certificate that you have presented it in the conferences. That's all.
sir, sir,
These are the 5 chapters:
sir.
introduction, review of literature, research methodology, analysis and interpretation,
Suggestions,
suggestion and conclusion.
sir.
Suggestion and conclusion is a separate chapter. Suggestion and conclusion is a chapter. It's not
Sir.
suggestion one chapter and conclusion one chapter. No,
Suggestion and conclusion.
one chapter,
Sir.
5th chapter. That's all.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Kindly look into your project. You have you all received your textbooks?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In that you may have a guidelines, good guidelines from IGNO about how the project should go through.
Yes.
There you might see how to approach and your research and what are the procedures and forms and everything will be there.
Yes.
Right.
Forms, there are no forms, sir. But what are the points you have shared with us? It is having in chapter 33 or something like that, sir.
Yeah. So go through it. That will guide you. But it's normally these 5 chapters will be there. I will also go through and help you if it is in the next class.
Sir.
Okay, if I can take the proper format by IGNO so that you will not be deviated.
Sir. So even, sir, even for a case study also, we have to use all these 5 or 6. The chapters or points in order to cover the case study.
Yes, Mr. Sanjeev, case study. When you say case study, it's one of the tools of data collection.
Okay.
Right.
Sir.
Of data collection. Instead of using interview, instead of using observation, you are using case studies. You are taking a case and studying it. Understand?
Sir.
So any research report,
sir.
we call thesis.
Sir.
Any report or thesis should have these 5 chapters.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir, to get a small clarification, what is the difference between case study and research? How can we explain, sir? In simple words.
Why you are? I don't know why you are confused with the case study and research. Research is a full, okay, right? It's a full pack.
Yeah.
Research, okay. In that full pack, you have introduction, review of literature, and you have methodology. Case study. When you say case study, it is a tools of data collection. I think we have separate block for that. It's a tool of data collection, right? For example, you want to. It is a tool of data collection for qualitative research. First of all, in the last slide of my presentation, you see that hermeneutology. You find case studies, interviews, and ethnography. When you say case studies, it is used as a tool of data collection in qualitative research. First of all, okay. For entire research, it's a tool for data collection. We cannot differentiate research and case studies. Okay, because you are using as a tool.
Okay.
Right? You understand? You have a car,
yes,
or you have a 2-wheeler. If anything is being you want to repair it, you take certain spare, right, tools.
Yes.
Okay. Sir. For certain things, you take 11, 12 number and unscrew it. Same way, you are using a case study to repair or to collect data for your research to repair your bike. Bike is your research. For that, taking one tool, that is case study. Mr. Sanjeev Kumar will take another tool. Mr. Dominics will take another tool to repair the bike. Bike is a research. Okay. Sophia will take another tool. So each one will take separate tool.
That means
Okay.
there is that means through the case study we can get the data. That's it. And
Yes, exactly.
we through the data we didn't conclude anything in the case study. Only research only we can
Through
conclude, suggest all these things.
See, through this case studies only you will conclude. Through this case study only you get the data. Without data, how you conclude? Okay. See, your research, for example, your research is suffering of widows in the rural villages. Okay. Your research that you want to study, right?
Yes, sir.
In introduction part, you have written the widows' conditions in India. Imagine. Yes. And in review of literature, you have taken some reviews of the previous studies, how the widows' condition in India. Then you are going to methodology and study, writing about, you want to do this study with case studies, through case studies. Now you are going to one village and studying 20 widows in that village. Okay. In-depth study, you are doing a case study. You are going to a widow and asking questions and observing them and conducting a case study. Through that, you are concluding that widows are even suffering today. They are suffering economically, they are suffering mentally, they are suffering without any support. They are suffering to take care of their children. So you are writing something based on your 20 case studies.
Yes, sir.
Right? Have you got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it. Case study. Yeah, part of the research.
Data.
That's it.
It is part of the research to collect data.
Sir. Sir.
Sanjeev, please.
Sir, can we say that case study itself is a project report? One case study, say for example, I am attempting a project report, right, sir? So I am studying one case study, and the outcome will be my project report. Is it correct?
Not correct. What do you mean by one case study?
Any case, sir. Say for example, number of drug users in a particular.
What do you mean by one case study? How many cases you are going to collect data?
Only
how
one
many
case,
cases?
Sir. Only one case.
What do you mean? What is a case?
Anything. Say for example, number of drug users in a particular colony or college.
Okay, right. Very good.
Right,
okay.
Sir.
Now, from how many people, that is a case. How many people you are going to collect data?
Okay, I got your point, sir. So number of
from how many?
So I need to interview as many as possible. Is it?
No. You cannot say. No. Don't say as a researcher how many as possible. Tell it in number. This is not the way a researcher should tell. Okay.
Sir.
You should in number. What is the date? How many people you are going to collect data?
Say for example, 5.
5. Okay. So your case is drug abuse. You are correct. Your case is a drug abuse. Right?
Sir.
Now the number of data, that also is a matter. Okay. You cannot conclude the with 5 to conclude that. So you should increase. Okay. Being in a qualitative study, 5 is okay. Right?
Sir.
But go for a more study to authenticate your research.
Sir.
More number of data collection.
Sir.
Okay. Right. So we discuss about tools of data collection so that you have a clear idea. Don't confuse with a case study and research. Case study is the tools of data collection in qualitative approach.
Sir.
Yeah, that's all.
Sir,
so
sir, my one last question.
Case study is no. Let me finish it, Mr.
Okay,
Sanjeev.
sir. Okay, sir.
This case study is a report or case study is a research or something like that. Let us discuss on the tools of data collection later. Okay. Now, for your understanding, I will tell you, case studies is a tools of data collection. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thing.
Hello, sir.
Any other discussion?
Last one, sir. Sir, the quality of the research depend on the sample which have been collected from society or somewhere, different group or section. Is it correct, sir? Based on samples?
Yeah, sample authenticates your fact. Okay,
Research.
it gives empirical data, right? See, for example, 100, there is a sampling calculation. You just type it and calculate your sample in Google. It will give your, for example, 1,200 and population, what should be your sample size? If you put in that calculation, you'll get the how many sample size you should be, it should be. Okay, if you are taking more than that sample size, then it is fine. Okay, a good number of sample will be very supportive for your research. Less than that, if you are taking only 5 people of your sample, it is you ended up in sampling error. That means you cannot generalize it. Okay, it is called sampling error. So your guide will not allow you after getting what is your population. If you are taking 5 as a sample, your guide will not allow you. Okay, so good number of sample size is always good for the study.
Sorry, sir. Because among all subjects, this is the toughest subject I am feeling. That's why I'm asking these questions.
No problem.
Mhm.
Don't it's I love because it's more interactive because you're asking more questions. Otherwise, it's like monotonous, right? I don't know whether I have taught you or just I have spoken. You are asking questions is good.
Thank you, sir.
I like it. Don't worry. I know it is little bit of toughest, and even through online, it is little more difficult for you. I understand it. Uh, I'm very empathetic on you, but at the same time, I'll try to help you of my 12 classes as much as I can. Okay. So we have 45 minutes of PPT and learning. Then rest of the things we learn it. Okay. Don't worry about what is going to come afterwards. Okay. Now we are more discussing on the uh, data collection part. Don't worry. We are going to discuss now here on. Okay. Each chapter we are going to discuss. So don't worry about it. Okay. It is I let's concern about your questions on case studies and everything because we have not taught so far. That means you are going well ahead and learning out of fear. Okay, how I am going to complete this paper, what method I am going
Yes,
to
sir.
use and all those
Yes,
things.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, don't have fear on it. Okay, it is going to be very simple. Don't worry. Okay, learning is good. Learning, you are pushing yourself well ahead. It's good. Don't worry. Okay, at a master level, we need to have a kind of good understanding on the research perspective so that we are doing masters as well as UG is enough. Okay, we are coming to masters. That means we have good cognitive power, we have good understanding power, we have good experience. So that will really push you to learn. Okay, so don't worry about what is going to come, but learn. But study what on your material, what is there in the various uh, blocks of your paper. I'll help you. Okay, so we have 45 minutes or an hour of discussion. Then you post a question on how to go about it. Okay, right now, what I request you finalize your topic. Okay, finalize your topic so that in the next class, what we can discuss each one 5 minutes or 5 to 6 minutes, 10 minutes about what method can be chosen for it, how we can go about it. So that will be fine. So that at end of 12th classes, you will be at least finalizing your topic, introduction and review of literature and methodology. Only data collection will be left. So that can be helpful. So come and prepare your research problems. Then you choose your research guide and finish it your research. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Is any other question or else we can wind up?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Fine. Yes, Mr. Dominicus. Yes.
Yes, who is observing everything here? So I want to know about the review of literature. How many, uh, I mean, how many, okay, how
Literature
many,
you need.
yeah, literature need, how many can approach, how many for one study? How many required?
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know any kind of requirement from IGNOU about it. Normally, what we do, if for example, we take child labor as an issue of your study, right? You go for a international reviews, right? So how if your study is in your country, right? So your international review from the countries of from other countries like India, Sri Lanka, or somewhere, or any other country other than your own country. You take some international reviews. Then you go for the national reviews. Now you have a lot of provinces there in your country. Am I right? How many
Yes.
provinces you have?
11.
11 province. So you may have to, if you are taking your child labor problem in your own province, so you can take reviews from other provinces of your country. All right, then you go for your own province. So 20 of your international reviews, 20 of your other provinces, and 20 of your own province. Sometimes you may not get any research on your own province, so you can increase the number of studies in other provinces and other countries as a reviews. When you are taking a reviews, we as a it should not be more old, right? Means that uh, probably a decade ago, right? 10 years back, researchers can be taken as a reviews. Not, for example, 1980, someone might have done a research that cannot be taken as a review, right? Take a review. For example, now we are in 2025. Take a review at least from 2010. From 2010 onwards, what are the researches has been done on child labor can be taken as a reviews, not very beyond. It won't be relevant to your study. So we need to look more on the numbers, rather the reviews what you're taking should be highly enhancing your research. Why we are doing a reviews is identify the research gap. It is to identify what tools or techniques they have used for their research, whether that can be implemented on your research. For these two major purpose, we are doing the reviews. Yes, Dominicus. Am I okay with your answer question?
Yes, sir. I got it. So,
Okay.
actually, my projects, I will be talking about the Mozambican migration and diaspora in Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah, because in Portugal we have a huge number of Mozambican living there since the colonialism. Yes, when I was reading the World Bank data, they was saying that around the 20 million people are living in Portugal from Mozambique. Yeah, so that's want to know about the diasporas and everything. Ali, I want to study about India, but we don't have many diaspora people here, only students and people coming for medical treatments. Yeah, that's why I see that it will not be a good study to get this, to study this. So I'm studying about the Mozambican diaspora in Portugal. So that's why I want to know about this whole information. So when I was looking also for information, I don't have more information about this DGSU. Yeah, I will see, but maybe because I will take information from the World Bank, yeah, and the Minister of External Affairs also from Mozambique to get more insight.
Not an issue, Dominicus. If you are not getting more number of reviews, don't worry about it. That means it has a gap that has been done so far.
Okay.
Okay. It's not that someone might have done the research. If no one has done the research on how to land on sun, it doesn't mean that you cannot do a research on it.
Okay,
right?
sir. Okay, sir.
Do continue. You can take few literatures, or you can take reviews of the same nature.
Okay.
Okay. If same nature of your country, there are some other countries. There might have done some research.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Those research can be taken as your review.
Okay.
Okay. Some other countries being colonized. Okay. Those countries' migration might have been studied. Right. So those studies can be taken for your reviews.
Yes, I was seeing about the Ethiopia. They have,
yeah,
Ethiopia, they have more information about that. But
that can be
yes,
studied and compared to your country.
yes, yes. But Mozambique, maybe we don't have many researchers about this. Yeah, many people are not studying about migration issues also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do well,
Okay,
do
sir.
well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominicus, for this. We wind up today, so we meet in the next class tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.